Today I have an exciting video for you, for all my fans and viewers and readers out there. We have Nikolaos, my good friend from Terra Frutas, and we're going to talk all about his vegan, raw vegan, and even fruitarian journey, and a little bit about Terra Frutas as well. So thank you for being on here.
Thank you, Michael, for having me on the podcast.
Excellent. So first of all, what made you open up and choose to be vegan and to leave society for a beautiful place like this?
It was about 21 years ago, when someone told me, I was in UK at the time studying, and someone there told me that we can be vegan, not harm the animals, and have empathy and raise our consciousness. So I thought, why to eat animal flesh and animal secretions when we have the option to feed ourselves healthy with other foods that nature provides. So for me, it was an instant moral and ethical choice that which I've researched also on the internet and the books, that is also healthy for me. So both the science and the morals and ethics kind of clicked, and I became vegan 21 years ago.
Wow. Now, was there a particular aha moment, or was it just somebody explaining to you?
Just the explanation and the concept that we don't need to harm other creatures and kill them to feed ourselves. That point was enough for me. Why to cause so much pain just for our own benefit?
Yeah. And how did you leave society just to come here? Was it a process, or you just decided, I'm going?
Oh, it was something that was started happening within a number of years, gradually.
Yeah.
First, when I became vegan, I was living in the UK, and there it was quite rainy and cold, not many fresh fruits. So when after 10 years, I got the concept of raw veganism, which again clicked on me. Like, we don't need to burn our vegetables and fruits in order to feed ourselves. So that was, again, that explanation clicked on me. So, but UK, I found at the time it wasn't the most appropriate place for the raw vegan lifestyle. And so I've decided to move to Greece at the time, where the climate was more warm and very tasty vegetables and fruits there. So I decided to move to Greece, and then about a few years later, I became raw vegan then. And
about what year?
It was about 2012. And I've been 9 years now in the raw vegan
So
lifestyle.
basically took you 9 years. So basically it took you a long time from the beginning, when you were vegan, your beginning journey, to being raw vegan.
Yes, it took me a long time because I wasn't aware of the concept of raw veganism. That's the primary reason it took me so many years. When I got the concept and it made logical sense to me, it took me about a year or two to decide to be completely raw, and 9 years ago. And that's how my raw journey started. And then few years later, I heard the term fruitarianism, and that we can live and thrive on only eating fruits. And also at the time, I've read a book by Mango Wozak called Eden Fruitarianism. That Destination Eden, yeah, that was it. And also the workbook after that. And
the guidebook, yes.
The guidebook, and that resonated a lot with my feelings and my needs and my understanding of fruitarianism and the ethics and morals of it. And so that clicked also. And for the last 6 years, I've been fruitarian
Wow.
since then. Um, and it is a great journey. So, being a fruitarian, I became for 5, 6 years fruitarian in a city environment.
Mm.
Although I did a lot of foraging myself, looking around for fruits.
Sorry,
And
this was in Greece.
in Greece,
Yeah.
yes, and I was searching for really quality, fresh, wilder type of fruits. But the problem was that in fruitarian lifestyle, I felt the need to supplement myself with the natural elements like the sun, the water, the earth. And during the winters in Greece, it was very difficult in a city to be in touch with the natural element, the nature, which I think is critical and vital for a fruitarian lifestyle. So at summers it was a lot better, but in winters I was losing a lot of weight and being suffocated in a city environment, in an apartment.
Because you was it cold in Greece winter, or like
Yes.
you were inside all the time?
Yes, very cold in Greece. It snows, so in
Okay.
winter, central heating.
And what part were you living? Like which area?
In the mainland of Greece, in the middle part called Volos,
Oh, Volos, okay.
which
So it does get snow, right?
it gets snow. Yeah.
Oh.
So at that point, I was thriving in summer, but I was really not thriving and depleting in winters. So that factor that I couldn't follow the fruitarianism lifestyle long term in a city environment without natural elements made me consider that it's a necessity for me to go back to the tropics where we have stable weather and temperatures all year round, stable night and dark, so to get in tune with our biorhythms. And then fruitarianism really is a lot more possible and sustainable in the long term, I believe.
Yeah.
And here in the tropics, I feel stronger and better than ever in the fruitarian lifestyle.
So what are your tips to stay raw or fruitarian, and to not give in to cravings, or not give in to, like, you know how some people will completely abstain from eating overt fats, or completely go off the bandwagon and eat all fats. Do you think there's a right balance, or like a solution to people going back to eating vegan, or even going back to eating animals? Like, why do a lot of raw vegans fail?
From my experience, in my opinion, there are a lot of different factors that can play into someone not following long-term the fruitarian and raw vegan lifestyles. Some of the factors is like, first one, they consider it just as a diet and not as a lifestyle, which the lifestyle incorporates other factors like as I said, being in contact with the sun, the water, the earth, barefooted, sunbathing, and also in a calmer, less stressful environment like the cities and the sound pollution.
So getting out of that.
Yes. So one big factor is that it's not just a diet; it's a whole lifestyle and whole environment that needs to follow the diet. So a lot of people fail, I think, because they see it as a diet. They don't change other lifestyle factors, and it cannot sustain long term.
And as Mango Wodzak says, he actually calls eating fruitarianism an ethical life, because we're doing it for the other animals, and not only for the other animals, but for the plants too, because we know some plants have this kind of awareness or consciousness to some degree, and fruits are the least harmful of all foods,
Yeah. And
So,
also the main thing is, like, I became vegan mainly because caring for other animals, not harming them as least as possible. But the raw vegan choice was mainly for caring for the human animal. why do I need to poison myself? If I care for animals, also I need to care for the human animal, which is my body, my well-being. So the raw vegan was done also for myself this time. And the fruitarian lifestyle is also recognizing that plants also, they are living structures, living beings who like to live and thrive, and I try to minimize the harm in those living structures as much as possible. Plus the fruits are a really great food provided by nature and biology.
And it reproduces, so you just throw the seed in nature or put the seed out and you got abundance. It's amazing. But I find
something else I would like to mention. Another factor that helped me is like when I became vegan, I stopped classifying animal flesh and animal secretions as food. I classify them as beings. So I disassociated my mouth and my need for nourishment of the animals. Similar, when I became raw vegan, I stopped using the words like food for burnt vegetables. And so the word food was only applying on raw, natural
foods
provided by nature. And when I became fruitarian, I stopped again disassociating the word food with items of the plant matter that are not given freely by nature to nourish us. So for me, when we use the words like cooked food, it's not really, in my opinion, helping us because
it's not food.
It's not food, and it's not cooked, it's burned, it's destroyed, it becomes a poison for our body. So making clear-cut classifications in my consciousness and mind really helped me to disassociate from cravings or for anything else considering it as food.
Excellent. So those are the main reasons why you have succeeded, basically.
And other factors, as I said, I made like the lifestyle and the diet as priority, like the top priority. Other people made top priority their jobs, their relationships, other factors, not leaving their country and not losing their job. So it depends what we put as a priority. For me, I wanted to put priority my diet and my lifestyle above anything else. And in the process, I've changed a lot of things. I've changed friends, relationships, places, homes, jobs. But for me, the priority was the diet, the lifestyle, and being connected and a moral being.
And I remember you saying that you wouldn't completely agree with people that either don't add extra fats to their diet or add too much. So you kind of, I don't like to use the word moderate, but you kind of have a little bit in your diet every day.
I prefer to have some fat in my diet.
And by the way, everybody, raw veganism and even veganism contains all the fats, even if we don't eat avocados and coconuts and so forth. So just be aware that everything contains fat in low amounts.
Personally, at the beginning, I was using no fat for many years because at the time I was getting a lot of the concept of the 80-10-10 or that fat is bad. And over the years, I've changed this opinion. And at the moment, I prefer to eat fat and carbohydrates as long as it's fruits that I can find in my environment. And I believe they help me thrive long term, having all type of fruits.
And food combining, like combining fats with sweet fruits, or
when I I think it's also how we train our body. When I train my body to eat no fats, it wasn't as easy to digest fats. But when I train my body to digest fats, and I did some periods where I did the keto, raw vegan and fruitarian option, like eating avocados, coconut at the time, and so I learned my body and my gut microbiome to digest and burn efficiently the fats. So at the present moment, I prefer to eat a mixture of fatty fruits and sugary fruits.
But at the same meal too.
At the same meal too, yeah. I mean, human milk from the first, our first food, we train our body to burn both at the same time. That is the first food that nature and biology provides through our mother. So we develop microbiomes and ability to burn both at the same time.
So you think those are the main reasons why people usually fail and go back to eating other types of things?
Maybe that's one of the reasons they.
All the reasons you
But I would say the other reasons might be quite important.
Because I find a lot of people, they go for many years eating either little fat or no fat or too much, and then you see them later on either not looking that great physically, or just going back to eating animal foods or even just vegan.
It's true. Maybe an element of that is that they deprive themselves
Of the fat.
too much. But as I said, other factors are important too. That maybe they are not people we are not following. We are not in contact with the nature and the elements, that we don't get the supplement and the boost from these daily. I find the sun, the air, the water, the earth really boosting the fruitarian lifestyle.
And I would even include people that we're around, so people that we associate ourselves with, as well as, of course, as you mentioned, the environment. So if we're living in nature, so much better than just living, in the cities or towns. And also another thing would be the emotions of the person, how they feel about life, they're positive or negative, if they have a lot of fear in their mind, all those kind of things.
Yes.
And so
the emotions is very important, and what we do in the daily lifestyle, the actions and the choices we make, how moral they are, how beneficial for our own bodies and the others around us and all the living beings. All these choices, and they are really important for keeping our emotions in a balanced state. And as long as we go towards self-improvement and self-cultivation and being better people with time, looking back like 6 months ago, how have I improved as a person? Am I more positive, and do I contribute to the nature and to the life, to the phenomenon of life? I think that helps.
Yeah, just a few more ideas, as I've seen a lot of people fail, a lot of videos talking about how people have gone back to eating vegan or animal flesh and secretions. And some people are asked sometimes about water, or about water intake, or about blending and juicing, if these things are necessary, or if you at all do that. What about greens? Do we really need greens for the minerals? And you also being osteopath?
I have been trained as an osteopath and acupuncturist. Yeah.
So talk to us about the water and blending and juicing and greens and things like that, and B12 as well.
Yeah, I mean, as I say, things need steps. We need to train our body, our mind, our emotions. We have the transition periods. So I see the value in every step, like the veganism, the clean veganism, the raw vegan, then the most simple raw veganism, and then gradually the fruitarianism. All these steps I see them as valuable and important as when people follow them with consciousness and focus and respect. With time, as the body gets more adapted to the raw chemistry and fruits, and then it starts giving signs that prefers fruits, and as long as we follow that instinct and believe in it, then we can see that some plant matters are not necessary anymore for us to thrive.
Yeah, but what about people that say, oh, you need greens, you need vegetables, you can't thrive, you need some water, you need to take B12, all these things.
I mean, for many years, my body showed me that I need not a lot of the things people say that are definitely needed. So I choose not to include certain plant matters in my diet at the present moment, and I don't feel deprived.
And you've been eating fruit for how long again?
6 years. I've been a fruitarian.
And have you really noticed difference in your overall well-being?
I've noticed a difference in my overall well-being when I came to the tropics. My constant all year round lifestyle factors, my stress levels reduced, also incorporating more fatty fruits in my diet. All this, I believe, helped me, and I feel better than ever in the fruitarian.
Excellent. So, last two questions, and I think they're very, very important. I think it's good to talk about a little bit about your journey of how you went vegan and fruitarian again, in a little more detail to get people to understand, your experience, and then it may relate to them in some way, as you did previously.
Yeah, I mean, one of the first questions I think it will benefit for people to answer themselves is the fundamental need for living beings. What is their food? So that is like what is their source of energy? What is the fuel? So getting a clear answer of what really is the food that is meant for our biological structures is a fundamental question to answer, because answering that, the whole life can revolve around the clean fuel, and the whole lifestyle changes. So that was when I started. That was a question that I really wanted to answer and find answers. So all these years, that was my intention, to find the best diet as a living being, to give gratitude to life, to the phenomenon of life. So that's, and all these steps of veganism, raw veganism, fruitarianism, all these steps lead me to answer this question as complete and as possible, and I feel content with the diet and lifestyle and answers I have given to myself.
Because I know, for example, I don't know if you know Dr. John McDougall, he promotes like crazy the starch diet. And starch is like the food that our ancestors used to eat, and that's the only food. Of course, he does include other foods like fruits and vegetables, but the bulk of the diet should be starch. When some people say, for example, even some books say, well, it's not completely possible to be 100% raw and all these kind of things. You have experience to back you up, so where are these people coming from?
Yeah, I mean, when you are in a diet where you eat a lot of animal flesh, and you try to follow a plant-based diet, then including starches and burned starches is a process for this transition. And I remember on my clean vegan years, eating like starches and potatoes were like really satisfying, and I felt quite full, so I didn't have the need to eat animal secretions or animal flesh. With time, when I realized that in raw veganism that I don't need to burn these vegetables, and some of them were not edible in a raw state,
like potatoes.
or quite toxic or poisonous, then I've decided, okay, this is not for me anymore, because it doesn't make any benefit my body on a raw. So the starches in the raw vegan diet started to minimize a lot. And then when I realized it, the beauty of the fruits, and we get the elements of the starch, which is the sugars, more simple and more easy to digest. And also we have the fat and the fatty acids that are a little bit more dense and can satiate us like the starches used to do. Then I don't feel that I need or want starches anymore, because I have the simplicity of the sugars and the density and the satiation of the fatty fruits, and a combination of both provides a meal that is really fulfilling. And yeah, that's what I believe.
Yeah, that's excellent, and that's great advice for people who are wanting to be vegan and raw vegan and eating fruitarian. And just to sum up what Nikolaos was saying, is that basically you have to treat or understand that veganism and raw veganism are not, or especially Eden fruitarianism, are not necessarily just a diet. It's a complete lifestyle transformation, ethical transformation, a transformation and elevation of our consciousness, and understanding that we're all one. We're all one on this earth. And also understanding, especially when becoming raw vegan and fruitarian, that people that you hang out with, the environment that you live in, amount of exercise, and positive thoughts and emotions also play a very, very big role. So living in a place like Terra Frutis has been really, really helpful for you. Can you describe what Terra Frutis is and your place in this community?
Yeah, here we are at the tropics in southeast Ecuador, and people from all over the world came here with certain visions, like to plant fruit trees and reforest pastured lands with fruit trees that produce food for us. Also, we wanted to be in very close contact with nature and the natural elements all year round, an environment that will promote the fruit diet, the frugivorous diet. And also we had some other core values like abstinence from psychoactive substances, and also having non-violent communication among us and among other beings. So all these values that I quite agree with, and I think they're very important, I happen to find them in this community that's called Terra Frutis. So I'm really happy that I am a member of this community. And
how long have you been a member?
I've been living here for a year now, and I've been living to a similar community nearby, Fruit Heaven, for another 6 months there. And I think it was a great choice to leave society behind and follow this lifestyle and environment with like-minded individuals who appreciate life and want to thrive and want to also have a purpose in their life. The environment, it's in need now after all the destruction we made. The years of ignorance have passed. Now I believe it's time to save nature and save human beings also, and other animals. We are in a period like the Noah's Ark, where we need to save ourselves and the planet. We need to focus our efforts in that and not other distractions. And as humans beings become with a higher consciousness, and so it's great to see people, smiley faces from all over the world, coming here and happy, and don't want to feel much pain anymore. They are tired of feeling pain and depressed and lost, and they want to
reconnect
and be positive human beings and find a reason to repay life back. As we receive life as a gift, we need to show our gratitude and our appreciation to life, and that's why I'm here.
Excellent words from Nikolaos from Terra Frutis. I also do have very much similar experiences in Food Haven and Terra Frutis, and I believe they are wonderful communities to come and check out if you ever want to come to Ecuador. And my stay here in Terra Frutis Aurora and I experience was incredible. We've met the most wonderful, caring, lovely people, and wish we could stay here forever. Unfortunately, we have our journey to continue, and nature and the universe tells us we must continue on and trek on to create our own raw vegan community, or hopefully our own raw vegan community. And any last words? Where can people find you? How can people contact you if they want to get in touch with you to learn about raw veganism?
Yeah, I mean, we have the website terrafrutis.com, where they can get information about this community. Also, I have a YouTube channel where I upload some videos from the life of this community called And Me Raw Eco Villager.
Don't worry, we'll post it down below in the description. So.
And and I will encourage people that instead of being frustrated and angry in cities, feeling anger towards governments and the state and the religion, and I believe instead of feeling that anger, we can transform that angriness to productivity and create our own environment, our own lifestyle, little communities, decentralized, and the nature is abundant nowadays on Earth. Most humans have concentrated in cities, so wild nature is abundant for multiple smaller communities to form, plant fruit trees, and protest, and the activism is like planting fruit trees and creating small communities that we like. So we need more peace rather than anger.
Anger and war and violence. Yeah, exactly. Words of wisdom from an amazing person. Thank you so much for being on the channel, and we look forward maybe to another interview in the future. Thanks so much for being here.
And I wish you all the best with your journeys and possible creating a raw community. And I wish you all the best.
Thank you.